We're here tonight for the Committee of the Whole meeting. If everybody take their seat, we're here for the record, March 12th, 2013, Committee of the Whole meeting. I would like to call to order. We are at 1601 North Chrome Avenue, Homestead, Florida. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Fairclough McCormick.
Here.
Councilman Shelley.
Here.
Councilwoman Wallman.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Burgess.
Here.
Mayor Bateman.
Here. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item 2, additions, deletions, or deferrals. Do we have any?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
we do have the addition from, Richard, I don't know how you want to handle that, the item from the CRA that was moved over, is this the point where we put it on? Or? Yes. Okay, and Carlos, do you want to just explain what the item is and where the funding source comes from so we can get that on the record and it's on the agenda?
Let's add it to the agenda first, Mr. Mayor. It's an item dealing with the funding for a study for an iconic project within the city. $38,000.
Yes, it's for $38,000.
That's the item that we need.
Okay, motion to move it on.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
Okay.
You want to deal with it now, or you want to deal with it later?
No, let's deal with it right now.
Okay, this is car item 745 that currently had that the funds would be coming out of the CRA. As the board had discussed, they wanted to move it to the council meeting and that it would be funded from the city. So therefore, the account that it should be changed to is 001-1800-519-3320. And there are sufficient funds in that department to cover these. That department also has a contingency fund, so if need be, they would come out of there for the $38,000.
Okay. Thank you. Questions or comments from council? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Item carries. And before we move off additions, deletions, deferrals, we have a deferral, which is going to be the CAR 763 Centennial Steering Committee update. That'll move to our council under probably public comment. Okay, and what I'd like to...
We need a motion to defer that, please.
Okay, motion. Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item carries. At this time, I'd like to call up the representative, State Rep Rasheen, representative who's here tonight. Tab 12.
Hi.
Good evening.
My name is Erin Muir, and I'm here on behalf of State Representative Holly Roshine, representative for District 120.
Okay, thank you. We need a motion to move this on.
Move it.
Second. Thank you. Staff?
City staff is requesting direction regarding a proposed lease agreement with Representative Holly Rasheen for office space at the Old Town Hall located at 41 North Chrome Avenue, Homestead, Florida 33030. The terms of the proposed lease agreement are for 1 year with an option to extend until the end of Rep. Rasheen's term in November of 2014 for $200 a month or $2,400 a year.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Who owns the building, the city or the CRA?
The city does. I'm just reading this because historically the CRA has worked with the Old Town Hall, so I put the card together on behalf of Dennis Maytan. So since I was more familiar with it, he thought it'd be okay for me to read.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Item carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Tab 2, motion to place CAR 748 on council agenda, waiver of fees for the use of Harris Field.
Move it.
Thank you. Second. Staff report.
Mayor, the Haitian Pastors Association of Homestead is requesting the mayor and council authorize the city manager to approve waiver of usage fees in the amount of $340 for the use of Harris Field Pavilion on June 1st, 2013 to host the Haitian Pastors of Homestead. According to the city's code, chapter 20, section 20-11, fees and charges, the city council sets fees and has the right to waive park and recreation fees by majority vote.
Okay, questions from council? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Item carries. Okay, tab 3.
Move it.
Thank you. The approval of minutes of January 8, 2013. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Item carries. Okay, motion to place car
Move it.
754 on council agenda, City of Homestead supply surplus property. Staff report?
Several city departments through fleet and procurement have determined that the attached list of items and vehicles have outlived their usefulness and are no longer adequate for their intended purpose. Due to this fact, these items will be auctioned off as surplus. Staff's recommendation, mayor and council approve the attached resolution and authorize the city manager to surplus the attached list of vehicles and miscellaneous items that will be sold by means of online auction or disposed of by other authorized procedures. This is in accordance with the City of Homestead Code Section 2-440, surplus property.
Thank you, sir. Questions from council?
Yes. Did
Yes.
we ever deal with the issue as it relates to nonprofits dealing with these surplus items?
Mayor and council, yes, we put in a new surplus property donation policy for non-for-profits. That went into effect before the last surplus auction we did, and actually we sold everything on that list. So at that point, we haven't actually exercised the donation policy for any nonprofits.
I perhaps was probably not here. Would you be able to forward me that policy?
Absolutely. I'll send you a copy first thing tomorrow morning.
And when would these items go on for sale or for bidding?
Once we get council approval next week, immediately the day or two after, we would actually put it on Renee Bates for auction.
Okay. On what source?
I'm sorry?
What source you say you're going to put it on?
Renee Bates,
Okay.
they specialize in government auctions of surplus materials.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any further questions from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Item carries. Okay, tab 5, motion to place car 769 on council agenda, property insurance for city-owned property excluding the power plant substation.
Second.
Thank you. Staff?
Mayor, there's a whole collection of insurance items here. Tom Jones is here. Did you want to hear presentations or just read through the items?
Well, I had a one-on-one presentation
Well-
at City Hall, so if anybody else wants
Well,
to.
no, I have some questions.
Okay.
But they are very, they're not anything too intrusive or too long.
So did
Okay.
you want to take the whole collection as a group? That would be items 5,
Tom,
6, 7.
Tom, may I ask a question? Tom, Mr. Jones,
Come forward. Thank you, sir.
I don't have a problem taking them all as one. Which item that we talked about today? Which item? Which tab was that?
We talked about the non-power plant options, which are on the spreadsheet.
Is that tab 5?
Well, yes, that's,
That's this tab, right? Is that this one we're talking about?
well, I don't have a copy of the document
Oh,
that you're looking at, but
that's
I'm,
right.
I'm looking at a spreadsheet.
spreadsheet,
It has
okay.
6 options on it.
Okay, I think that's
Yeah. The
okay.
spreadsheet was self-explanatory, and we're taking number 4, is it?
Well, I guess we could, Mr. Manager or Mr. Attorney, I guess, do you want to take all of them at one time?
Yes,
As far
sir.
as
We'd like to take them all at one time.
instead of each individual?
We'd like to take them all at one time, if that's okay. If not,
Yeah, that's fine. I move it. I guess it's already been moved. Okay.
okay.
So that motion would be on tabs 5, 6, and 7?
Correct.
My problem is that even though we've been so blessed to not have any major storm to hit us, and I know this may sound so insignificant to probably some, but I don't think we ought to adjust the amounts on it, and based on what my limited knowledge is, if something was to happen, I don't want to be at the hands of FEMA trying to get money when we could have forked over the $35,000 that it would cost even to adjusting the premium to keep the levels where they are at this point. Because who's to say that? And I don't have any wood up here to knock on, but who's to say maybe this year could be the year and we've lowered the levels or lowered our coverage, and because we're saving $35,000. So I know with those options, option 4, I believe.
Excluding one, it's option
excluding.
4, yes, sir.
Right. That would be excluding the amount, right?
Well, let me change that just a little bit. The 35,000 is the difference between option 4 and the expiring is about 45, let's just say $50,000.
Okay, 50,000.
And because the total insurable values increased by about $1.7 million, there's about $15,000 of premium that's
Right.
associated with that increase. So if you subtracted that number from the 50, that leaves you a $35,000 net increase
Right.
to do option 4, which contemplates you taking your $30 million of windstorm coverage
To 20.
and reducing that to 20.
Right. So that's my issue is,
Okay. Well,
you know.
Tom, maybe reiterate real quick, what we talked about is that we are making such a best effort that FEMA bases their recovery on best effort.
Perhaps for the benefit of the council, let me summarize it this way. We have 6 options here. We could spend a lot of time going through all the individual pieces of the options, but the 6 options basically results in a decision by the council on 2 items. One is, do we want to maintain all of the property in the open, the coverage for the property in the open, which are fences, lights, gazebos, playground equipment, things that are going to be probably damaged in a storm, very vulnerable equipment. There's about $17 million on your schedule. We want to maintain that coverage and reduce the top limit of the windstorm from 30 million to 20. And the reason you would consider doing that is we ran 2 catastrophe models with a 250-year return period. Now that is fairly conservative, actually it's very conservative in terms of the likelihood of that occurring. So that's a storm that would occur every 250 years. One model said that your damage by windstorm would be 21 million. One model said your damage by windstorm would be 13 million. If you average those 2, you'd get 17 million.
Right.
The suggestion is, or one of the options is, you reduce that 30 million of windstorm to 20 million, with the average being 17. The other option is you buy the $30 million of windstorm coverage at the top, and you basically delete or reduce or eliminate the property in the open. Now, one way of looking at that is, if you have a significant storm, what is likely to happen? What is very likely to happen is your property in the open is going to be damaged because it's very vulnerable. If you elect to not insure that, you're going to immediately be dealing with FEMA. In my opinion, the least or the less likely option is for you to exceed that $20 million limit because, again, we're running those models to the 250-year return period, which is, again, very conservative. If you did exceed that $20 million loss limit for windstorm, you would then be dealing with FEMA again. I think the consensus of opinion is, in either case, you would get FEMA support. I just think it's more likely that you'd get FEMA support. Well, you know you're going to be dealing with FEMA with regard to the property in the open because it's very vulnerable. So the consultant for the city has recommended option 4, which that represents the net increase of about $35,000 over expiring. So I hope that makes that simpler than looking at the spreadsheet.
Okay. Any further questions from council? So the way it reads right now for this car is it's option 4, reducing to 20 million.
That was a recommendation from Cyber and Associates.
And I felt comfortable with that. Or is it? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Nay?
No.
Item carries. Okay, we're item 8, motion to place car 764 on council agenda, joint participation agreement between the city of Homestead and Miami-Dade County for the 328th Street from US 1 to 162. Second? Thank you. Staff?
Mayor, staff recommends mayor and council approve the attached resolution to authorize city manager to enter into the joint participation agreement between the city of Homestead and Miami-Dade County, the Southwest 328th Street and US 1 to Southwest 162 Avenue project, which will transfer $2 million to the city for right-of-way acquisitions.
Okay, questions, comments? I have one. Is this project really going to happen, Julio?
Well, this is a very important step because by doing this, we can then proceed with the right-of-way acquisition process in order to get the project moving. But yes.
Okay.
I just want to thank that gentleman for sitting here all night and putting up with us.
If I could introduce Pete Waldman from our office, who's going to handle the eminent domain on this matter. Pete, thank you for sitting with us. I'm sure you
Thank
enjoyed the
Can I ask
meeting.
a question?
Sure, please.
Are we related? I don't think so.
She's just flirting with you.
No, really, his last name is Waldman. I don't hear that very often. That's weird.
Mr. Mayor?
Anyway.
You know, how many actual, intimate domains do we have to take? I mean, is it 1, 10?
17.
17, ooh, 17 unhappy people. Yes, sir.
All voters.
I'm sorry, Mr. Shelley.
Mr. Mayor. Yeah, that was my question, because my understanding is that this is still a long process, right? Just for, by the time we go through the eminent domain process, if we can't get them to buy out otherwise or settle, so I mean, we're still talking a while, correct?
The idea is to finish the process by, I think it's October, if I'm not mistaken. That's what we're looking at. Pete?
Good, Pete, if you want to take the first chair there.
So we're talking October to do all the eminent domain and everything, and then from there, we'll have all the property we need to actually move the project forward? Is that what our timeline is?
That is the plan, yes.
Pete, before Pete speaks, he has a very high squeaky voice, so I know that it's going to bother you. Go ahead, Pete.
Oh, stop it,
Go ahead,
Richard.
Pete.
We will proceed pursuant to Chapter 74.
You can bring the mic closer.
We will proceed
Turn it on.
pursuant
Yeah,
to
turn it on.
Chapter 74 of the Florida. Turn it on. There we go.
Picking on you tonight.
We'll utilize Chapter 74 of the Florida statutes, which is the quick take statute, which allows us to, upon showing a public purpose, necessity, and depositing a good faith estimate of value, take possession of the parcels that are needed for the project, and then the next phase would be to litigate value on any of the parcels where valuation is being challenged. So it allows us to get all the parcels that are needed for projects so that construction can advance.
And so I guess to clarify then, so October though, you think you'll have that accomplished?
As long as we do not have any problem getting hearing dates based on the county's representation that it will approve the JPA in June, we should be able to acquire all the parcels by the end of October.
Okay, and then just one follow-up question, and that is, if we take possession, then we litigate, and we don't have sufficient monies to cover the buyouts, where does that money come from, and how does that work?
We have $2 million that we're getting from the county from RIF, from road impact fees. Anything above that, the city would have to cover.
And do we have a contingency account for that, or is that something?
We do have PTP funds allocated for that purpose.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure, please, Ms. Wallman.
They are between US 1 and 162. That's all the properties. The ones that are going to be the most challenging are the ones between US 1 and 6th Avenue. Those are the ones. There is a possibility of that, yes. Yeah.
And the
That is
backup
definitely an
at
option.
that light at BJ's is incredible now. You can't even get out of BJ's when the light.
That's why this project is so
You
needed.
might want to check the timing on that light because it backs
Check it
up
out.
all the way to the exit of BJ's and it's a nightmare getting out.
The problem with that intersection is people making left turns, because once somebody's standing there making a left turn, it holds up the whole traffic behind it, because there's no way to get around it. But we'll call the county and have them take a look at it as well.
If everything gets approved by the 30th, don't tear that road up until about November 10th, all right?
You got it.
Okay. Any further questions? All in favor? Nay? Item carries. Okay, tab 9, Finance Committee. Motion to place car 760 on council agenda, fiber optic. Okay, thank you. Motion, staff?
Mayor, staff recommends approval of the resolution that authorizes the execution of all documentation for the renewal of a letter of credit in the amount of $100,000 in connection with the city's communication service provider registration with Miami-Dade County. The resolution also provides for all subsequent renewals of the letter of credit without further council action.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I
Mr.
have,
Williams.
I have a problem, and it could be problematic, could not be. But what is the purpose of with the letter of credit and $100,000 from First National Bank? I don't get it. Why do we don't have $100,000 somewhere?
The city is considered a provider of communication services, and as part of the registration with Dade County, they require an irrevocable letter of credit. It's almost as if it was a deposit with them. And since this is basically going on into perpetuality, that's what we're requiring, that it's going to be renewed every year.
Okay.
Okay, any further questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir. Mr. Shaw.
I have a question, just feeling, this is our fiber optic ring. This
That's-
is the one that's currently dark, correct? Or is this one the working version?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, yes, sir, it's our existing fiber optic ring, the underground one that we use, and it's not dark, it's partially used. We're using about 25% of the fiber right now.
Okay, and then I guess I have just a follow-up, not really a question for discussion tonight, but more of just a general discussion for future, and that is, what are we doing with the dark fiber? Have we, I know at one time the city was looking toward lighting that fiber and trying to get it functional and working. Can we just look into what options might exist so that we don't have this dark fiber just sitting there?
We did go out and do a request for information.
Okay.
We only had one respondent. We still have to put a review committee together to look at that response to see if it's something that the city wants to pursue or not.
Okay, so there is somebody, I guess, that's currently pending, and then depending on how that works out, we'll either go with that person or we'll start over again or look into other options.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, tab 9, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Item carries. Let's quickly jump to tab 15, car 757, Everglades National Park and Biscayne National Park discussion. Staff report? Sir, you want to come forward?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
If I might. This is Khalil Kettering from the National Parks Conservation Association. I worked in conjunction with him on this concept of bringing forth this resolution to establish the City of Homestead as the gateway to Everglades and Biscayne National Park, and this is co-sponsored by Councilwoman Waldman. And so he's here to answer any questions. My understanding, I think he's met with most of you to discuss the concept, but the idea again is to directly connect the City of Homestead with our tourism bases of Everglades and Biscayne National Park by passing this resolution and becoming the gateway. Hopefully that will further cement that connection, and when people look for things to do related to the parks, the City of Homestead will be first and forefront in that in their mind.
Okay, I think it's excellent.
All right.
In 2000, we pretty much did the exact same thing. We just did not float a resolution, and our PIO at that time took any and all of your events, placed them on our calendar, placed them on our website, placed them on our TV, and I think that it's a great resolution, and I support it, and bring it forward, bring it on, because I personally hold a year pass out there, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of property, to go out and watch sunsets and or do photos, whatever your liking is. So go ahead.
Oh, that's great to hear. For the record, I'm Khalil Kettering with the National Parks Conservation Association, and Councilman Shelley stated it best. I've met with most of you, so I don't really want to take up more of your time. I know we've been here for a while, but it's really a unique location. We're in the only county that has 2 national parks in their boundaries in the country, and so you guys are smack dab in between that. So that's part of this idea, and I've heard a lot of numbers thrown around today, and the beauty of this is that it costs. So that's all that I'll say, and if you have any questions, I'm available, and I'll just take a seat over here.
Questions or comments? Okay.
Right, I'm just really happy, Mayor, that this has happened, and I would like to thank our colleagues because we are the gateway you know, and this is going to further enhance the Greenway project, you know, that I started in 2001. Mr. Shelley has such a love of the Everglades and sits on the board out there. So it's a joint effort between all of us, but we need something to call our own here in Homestead, and if it, you know, Florida City has gateway to the Keys, well, we're the gateway to the national parks. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, it doesn't require a vote or anything, correct? It does?
It was just a discussion now.
Okay, just for
I thought,
discussion.
when does the resolution come?
Yeah, we're going to
Count?
put the resolution,
Council meeting.
on the agenda,
Council meeting.
so you could have a motion to move it ahead to the agenda.
Okay, motion?
To move it ahead, move it.
Second.
Second. I think all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Item carries. Okay, thank you very much. Tab 10, motion to place car 656 on council agenda, bid 201310, pickup truck purchase. Thank you. Second. The staff.
Mayor, the purchase would replace a 1999 Dodge 3500 that has 101,623 miles and is not operational, as well as a 1992 Ford F-150 that has 117,557 miles. These trucks are utilized in day-to-day operations by staff responsible for maintaining the city's right-of-ways. Fleet has recommended the replacement of the vehicles based on age, mileage, and maintenance cost threshold. Staff
Questions?
recommends mayor and council authorize city manager to award bid 201310 pickup truck purchase to Armstrong Ford, local vendor, for the amount of $81,060.
Hey, here. Thank you very much. Local vendor. Questions and comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Item carries. Okay, next item, tab 11, Park and Recreation. Motion to place car
Move it.
757 on council agenda, ITB 201303, HVAC repair, refrigeration equipment maintenance. Okay, staff?
Staff recommends the mayor and council authorize city manager to award bid number 201303, HVAC repair and refrigeration equipment maintenance, to the lowest responsible bidder, which is Temptrol Air Conditioning, Inc., for the estimated annual expense of $78,750.
Okay, questions or comments? All in favor? Nays? Item carries. Thank you very much. Tab 13, tab 14, car 776.
We need 13.
13 has a line through my 13. What does that mean?
Mine too.
It's deleted. I'll help you, Richard. It's okay.
Mine's not deleted on.
All right. Thank you very much. Car 776, use of city forklift.
Move it.
Or use. Okay, thank you.
Mayor, this is a request to assist Laura Saunders Elementary School with a forklift to unload 500 meals from Farm Share on March 21st, 2013 from 1 to 3 p.m. Public Works Department will provide the forklift and operator. Staff is seeking direction regarding the use of the forklift equipment to assist the school. This one here, just be a consensus. If you're okay with it, we'll do it, but since it was city equipment for an outside entity, we just wanted to make sure you were comfortable with it.
Thank you very much for bringing it to us. I'm all in favor of it. Questions, comments from council?
Mr. Mayor, one quick question.
Sure.
I guess the liability associated with if something happens while that forklift is being used, is that still on us, I guess?
Yeah, the whole thing, it's us, but, you know, that's why we wanted to bring it to you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
Just a comment.
Okay, sure.
With the use of this forklift, I'm partnering with Laura Saunders Elementary, Farm Share, and Angel Share to provide nutritious meals to the students during the spring break when they naturally wouldn't have those meals. And the only thing we're missing is a forklift. So between 1 to 3, we'll be unloading all of the food. The kids won't be around. And then at 3 o'clock at dismissal, that's when we'll start the dispersion. So the kids won't be around when we unload with the forklift.
Okay, do we have general consensus?
Yep.
We got 4 or 5 nods. All right, thank you very
Great.
much.
Thank you.
Car number 758, barbecue grills at City Park discussion. Staff?
This is also a discussion item. There's a recommendation from Parks for allowing grills at some of the parks. Wasn't sure if you wanted to have that discussion or if you're okay with what's in the information. It's your call.
Okay, Ms. Wallman.
Yes, I think I can pretty much handle this really quickly. Dennis and I, Pedro, have been working on it. You know, a lot of people want to be able to barbecue in the parks, but I don't think that that's what we should do. Excuse me, I've got a bean gone in my throat from eating up here, but and I don't think that's what we want in all the parks. So we had come to the conclusion today that maybe we suggest we bring forth barbecue grills in James Archer Smith Park for the Northwest, Lakewood Park, and then we also met J.D. At Roby George as well, at Mayor Roscoe Warren Park and J.D. Red Park, because those are more, they're bigger, you know, they have the capacity to handle more people. So rather than have them in every park, just 4 major parks, including Roby George, because they are existing there already. So I'd like, if my colleagues agree, then to bring it forward to council, I guess.
I mean, I think if you're okay with the recommendation, then
That's it?
we just didn't want to do it without, you know, it's a change of operation, so we just wanted to make sure you were comfortable with it. If you're comfortable, we'll move forward.
And will they be our grills that we put in place, or will they bring their own grills, or what?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We're gonna purchase their grills. They're gonna be ours, and we'll maintain them and we'll install them. So instead, in our park rules, it says that there's no barbecue grills allowed. So we have so many inquiries for grills, and everybody picnics and wants to cook, you know, hot dogs, hamburgers. And Roby George, when we took over the police parks, it already was there, so we wanted to keep it consistent with the other parks, and that's why we wanted to bring it to council to make sure that anything we put there new, you all are aware of it.
Question.
Yes, Mr.
Have you had any problems at Roby George Parks with the grills already, or since you've...
Councilman Williams, none. We haven't had no problems yet.
Okay.
Mayor?
Yes.
I would recommend that we not allow people to bring outside grills in, because it's a safety hazard, and we
Right.
don't want that.
I agree.
And just so you know that because of the grilling, it's probably going to increase some of the attendance to some of the parties, you know, where they rent the pavilions. So we looked into today getting an estimate as to how many people are going to attend a party, because many times they really need to rent 2 pavilions instead of just one, because some of them are so huge, you know, that it infringes on some of the other people who were there picnicking. So it was something, you know, I personally didn't want them, but everybody wants to be able to cook, you know.
Do you think that it's going to increase our liability insurance for those parks?
Mayor, this went through risk manager, and she came back with no problem with it. Just to let you know, other cities do it. Dade County Parks and Rec does it, and it will be maintained by our staff, which we have on site, and we'll clean it and keep it clean.
And will we have somebody at those parks that are barbecuing on the weekends? We'll have a park person?
Mayor, we have a attendant at each of our parks.
Very good, thank you. Okay, any further questions? Okay, I think that was just discussion item, was it not? Yeah?
Okay, so we'll move forward based on your direction.
So you'll bring us, excuse me.
Sure.
You'll bring us back the cost of what this is, or we just move forward and
Well,
do it, or?
I thought it was
we don't...
3,100.
We think...
The cost is in there. It's like $3 grand.
Yeah, so we wouldn't
Okay, I
intend...
overlooked it.
We wouldn't intend to bring it back unless you wanted us.
Does that include fire equipment?
No.
It scares me, but hey, if it's
It
other
scares
places.
me to
Okay, moving right along. This next one scares me is, what are we doing with my trees? Car number 773, trees on Campbell.
We're moving them, Mayor. We're
Whoa,
moving
whoa,
'em.
whoa, whoa.
Mayor, this is another one of these operational items, but because it's in a high-profile area, we thought we'd bring it to you just so you can hear the pros and the cons on this issue and give us some direction. Barbara?
Barbara.
Mayor and Council, this is an item for discussion. We're seeking direction from Mayor and Council regarding possible removal and/or relocation of some or all of the royal palm trees along Campbell Drive between Southwest 167th Ave and Flagler Avenue. The trees have caused a number of power outages over time. And there's some additional information provided to you in Exhibit 1. There are 2 separate locations that we're looking at. One location is in front of our old City Hall property, and at that location there are 16 royal palm trees. And the other location is in front of the Harris Field property on the south side of Campbell. And there are think there are 76 trees in that location. We have had several power outages that are also detailed here in the last few years. The bulk of the power outages that are caused by trees have been caused by the ones on the old City Hall property, because those trees are much closer to the power lines. They're also taller than the power lines. So when they lose a palm frond, the frond will fall down and it'll cause a short circuit condition. And then we experience a power outage as a result of that. And so there are a number of different options that are laid out here for you all to consider. The first option is to address only the trees in front of the old City Hall, and again, those are the more problematic trees. We got a number of estimates. One of them is included in your package from our landscapers, but the estimates ranges are shown here. To relocate anywhere from 16 to 48,000. Of course, we would go with the best bid. To just completely remove them, the bids range between 7,000 to 9,000. The next option is all of the trees. I'm sorry, the total number of trees is 74. So to address all the trees, you see the dollar ranges for all of the trees. That would include Old City Hall as well as Harris Field. And then the third option is to put the power lines underground. And that would run us anywhere from $450,000 to $700,000.
There's also a fourth option, probably more, but the fourth option would be status quo, do nothing. And so, just wanted to bring it to your attention as...
Okay, fourth option. All in favor?
Done.
Oh, my goodness.
So we're looking for direction from you all. If you want to leave the trees as is, status quo, of course, yes, is also an option. Or if you'd like us to pursue one of the other options listed.
Yeah, comment. I think whatever we do there, I mean, if it's along the line of taking trees down, we need to have a really good game plan of replanting, because we will probably get numerous calls asking us why we took those beautiful royal palms down. So I would ask council, let's think about it for a meeting or so.
And Mayor, the judgment call here is that the power outages are above average, but not catastrophic. So it really becomes, would it be better without the trees there? No doubt. Is the problem sufficient enough to spend this kind of money and deal with the aesthetic issues? It really is, it's a judgment call, and the reason we brought it to you is if people were really strong one way or the other, then that would kind of guide us. If not, we can kind of go as needed basis.
I'm all about common sense. I mean, I believe if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. We just do it properly. We do it, trade off with other type of landscape, and we make sure we make people aware of why we have to do it. So I would just say, I'd ask council to at least give us another 30 days to look at it. I'd like to just go drive over there and look at it, and I'd like to understand it so that I can answer it to our citizens logically. Yes,
Mr. Mayor, yeah, for me, the cost, I need to evaluate the cost and see where I stand on that. But I can say, like the trees that are in Harris Field there, if you drive by, I did look at them, and they look pitiful because they're so trimmed back all the time that you just have tall royal palms with stubs. So they're there, but they look really bad. So I don't know if it's worth the cost to move. That's the debate I guess I need to discover. But as far as losing those particular trees, there's really not much to lose because they're nothing but sticks at this point. I mean, they look pretty bad. The one on City Hall side, they were full trees, but they obviously cause more problems. So, yeah, I just need to think about it and get a little more facts on it.
Okay, so we all agreed to hold off for at least another meeting, right? Go ahead. Sure.
Actually, I would like to hold off until after hurricane season, because, I don't think it's something that brought to our attention. We know there's a problem, but that's a huge cost, and who knows what kind of season we're going to have this year. So it's just a suggestion.
And Mayor, I'm comfortable with that in that as you look at the outages that we've had, the cost to repair have been fairly minimal, and also the time it's been out has been relatively minimal. So, it really is a judgment call, and we don't see any major need to move fast unless you wanted to.
Well, I appreciate, being proactive. I just say, give me a little time to digest it. And I didn't know that they looked so bad along that side, so I'm going to go look tomorrow. And thank you. All right. All in favor to adjourn? All right, second. All right. Thank you all very much.